Transcript for Trump published list of special counsel questions for him a disgraceful leak, and we begin with those questions Robert Mueller reportedly wants to ask President Trump. The New York Times, first reporting some 4 questions that they say were read to the president's legal team, questions about the firing of Michael Flynn, James Comey, the Trump Tower meeting, and what seems to be a direct question about possible collusion, asking if the president knew about outreach to Russia for potential help by members of his own campaign. The president tonight calling the leak of these questions disgraceful, but who gave those questions out? Tonight, we go down the list, the questions most telling, and what they mean. ABC's Mary Bruce leading us off. Reporter, it's a list of nearly 50 problems questions special counsel Robert Mueller has for President Trump. Lines of questioning Mueller shared with Trump's own legal team. The list, now published by The New York Times, in what the president is now calling a disgraceful leak. Russian collusion? Give me a break. Reporter, Trump insists Mueller's list has no questions on collusion, but that's not true. The special counsel has questions about Paul Manafort, once the president's campaign chairman. According to The Times, Mueller wants to ask Trump what knowledge did he have of any outreach by his campaign, including by Paul Manafort, to Russia about potential assistance to the campaign. Mueller also wants to ask the president, when did you become aware of the Trump Tower meeting, that infamous sit-down, Don Jr., Jared Kushner, Manafort and Russians they were told had dirt on Hillary Clinton? He said, there is no question on collusion, but when you look at these specific questions about outreach by the campaign to Russia, aren't these questions about collusion? Once again, I'm not going to get into a back and forth about questions leaked or anything having to do with the special counsel, and I would refer you to the president's attorney. Reporter, much of Mueller's list centers on possible obstruction of justice by the president. The special counsel wants to know what efforts were made to reach out to Trump's fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn about seeking immunity or possible pardon, and what did Trump mean when he said this about firing his FBI director, James Comey. When I decided to just do it, I said to myself, this Russia thing with Trump in Russia, it's a mad-up story. Reporter, and when Trump told Russian diplomats in this Oval Office that firing Comey had taken the pressure off? What did he mean by that? Another question Mueller wants answered, what discussions did the president have regarding terminating the special counsel? Mary Bruce joins us tonight live from the White House. And Mary, there is also news tonight about Michael Flynn. He's already, of course, taken a plea deal with Robert Mueller. He's cooperating in the investigation. But you're learning tonight sentencing could be delayed. What does this mean? Reporter, David, Mueller's team and Flynn's lawyers are asking for another 60 days before sentencing Flynn for lying to the FBI. It's a clear sign that Flynn is still cooperating with the special counsel and that they don't want any sentencing to get in the way of that. David, Mary Bruce, thank you. Want to bring in ABC's chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Great to have you. A lot of people at home are going to ask, if Robert Mueller wants to ask the president these questions, why would he reveal the coels in the first place? Because you're saying prosecutors often do this? Reporter, it's not unusual. The goal is not to stump him. This is what happens when you're negotiating whether to have someone sit down, and keep in mind, they could ask follow-up questions, there are additional questions that could be asked. This doesn't mean that it's everything. This would be an outline. Reporter, right. The president says that the leak of the questions is, quote, disgraceful. We know that Mueller's team gave the questions to President Trump's legal team. Reporter, there's every indication this came from the Trump team and not from the Mueller team. You look at the reporting itself, it says that they read the questions to Trump's team, and that it was given by someone outside of Trump's lawyers. Which suggests and sort of clearly indicates that it came from someone in Trump's camp, not from Mueller. And bottom line, does the president really have to do this interview at all? Reporter, he does not. He's under no obligation to do it. If he doesn't, it's possible that Robert Mueller could try and subpoena him to testify in front of a grand jury. But I don't expect that would happen. Dan Abrams with us tonight. Dan and Mary, thank you. This transcript has been automatically generated and may not be 100% accurate.